Today I'm going to introduce Ziming M. Gao's argument that Craig Wright must be Satoshi Nakamoto. Ziming M. Gao, a doctor-in-law with 2 master's degrees in science, argues that it is mathematically impossible for Craig Wright not to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Let's examine his argument. Point 1. Craig Wright's knowledge of Bitcoin script. Craig Wright is related to the early stage of Bitcoin and knows how to program in Forth, the requisite language used for Bitcoin script. Point 2. Craig Wright's experience with digital cash systems. Craig Wright is related to at least the early stage of Bitcoin and has extensive experience working on digital cash systems before Bitcoin's release. Point 3. The uniqueness of Craig Wright's expertise in key disciplines. Craig Wright is the only one related to at least the early stage of Bitcoin and is an expert in key disciplines such as economics, monetary systems, law, computer sciences, cryptography, and gaming theory, which are necessary for inventing Bitcoin. Point 4. Craig Wright's understanding of Bitcoin scripts. Craig Wright has shown a deep understanding of Bitcoin scripts and has provided explanations of their theoretical considerations and practical applications that only the designer would know. Point 5. Craig Wright's knowledge of complex Bitcoin questions. Craig Wright knew the answers to complex questions about Bitcoin such as why double hash and why 21 million coins. Point 6. Craig Wright's explanation of Bitcoin's properties. Craig Wright gave the first explanation for why Bitcoin is not encrypted, how it protects privacy without creating anonymity, and how it enhances the rule of law rather than being anti-government. Point 7. Craig Wright's explanation of Bitcoin security. Craig Wright gave the first explanation for why Bitcoin security is based on economic principles rather than computational design. Point 8. Craig Wright's knowledge of Bitcoin's Turing completeness. Craig Wright knew that Bitcoin was Turing complete from the beginning, even before it was proven. Point 9. Witness testimonies supporting Craig Wright. Craig Wright has multiple witnesses who were early participants of Bitcoin and had personal interaction with Satoshi Nakamoto, and they are convinced that Craig Wright is the person they interacted with. Point 10. Witnesses testifying under oath. Craig Wright has multiple witnesses who testify under oath that they knew the person working on something that was clearly the subject matter of Bitcoin before the white paper was released. Point 11. Craig Wright's evidence of work products. Craig Wright can produce evidence of work products, including the registration of the domain name bitcoin.org, before the white paper was released. Point 12. Craig Wright's tax return and identification. Craig Wright is known to have reported Bitcoin as capital gain in their 2009 tax return, and was identified and attacked by the tax authority as the owner and controller of Bitcoin in its earliest years. Point 13. Craig Wright's copyright and Genesis database. Craig Wright has the registered copyright to the Bitcoin white paper and Bitcoin Genesis database. Point 14. Craig Wright's patent applications. Craig Wright has invented and filed hundreds of patent applications for technologies related to or derived from the original Bitcoin. Point 15. Craig Wright's leadership in building the Satoshi vision. Craig Wright leads the building of the only platform in the world that stays true to the original Bitcoin white paper, claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, and has a world-class team dedicated to building the Satoshi vision, even though they know quite clear the whole digital currency world is against them, and they're going to lose opportunities of making quick money by not following those number-go-up Ponzi schemes. On the ground of these arguments, Ziming M. Gao came to a conclusion that it is mathematically absolutely impossible for Craig Wright not to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Considering the scientific structure of his argument, we may have to agree that even if some of his arguments were found to be erroneous, the conclusion would probably not be affected by them. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin? This question has been a mystery in the crypto world for years. Gavin Lee has a theory that just might answer that question. He argues that Dr. Craig S. Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto. Let's delve into his argument. First, Gavin Lee points out that Dr. Craig S. Wright has testified under oath that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, the very inventor of Bitcoin. This is no insignificant claim. Additionally, Wright owns the copyright over the Bitcoin white paper and the Bitcoin database, a fact that lends credence to his claim. Moreover, Wright has won a U.S. court case over the 1.1 million Bitcoins belonging to Satoshi, with the jury finding no fraud related to Craig Wright. He also won a UK judgment against bitcoin.org, compelling them to remove the Bitcoin white paper from their site. But it doesn't stop there. Wright also won a UK defamation suit on all counts against blogger and podcaster Peter McCormack, who stated that Craig Wright was fraudulently claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Gavin Lee further emphasizes that Gavin Andresen, the closest person to Satoshi, stated that Wright fits the personality of Satoshi, and also signed for him, with the first Bitcoin block. This statement has not been retracted. Multiple testimonies from Neville Sinclair, Stephen Matthews, Shoaib Yusuf, and Donald Lynham, all close associates of Wright, corroborate his involvement in the development and conceptualization of Bitcoin. Even Max Lynham, Wright's cousin, confirmed in his testimony that Craig had asked him and his father to run Bitcoin's earliest node, during which they mined 6,500 Bitcoins. Notably, all of his closest family, including his mother, uncle, sister, wife, and ex-wife, have confirmed he is the inventor of Bitcoin. Gavin Lee also points out that Wright has filed more Bitcoin and blockchain patents than any other living person. He holds master's and doctoral degrees in all topics related to Bitcoin. Moreover, Wright is a fervent supporter of Bitcoin SV, BSV, which aims to fulfill his original vision for Bitcoin. To summarize Gavin Lee's argument, Wright's legal victories, the testimonies from his closest associates and family, his extensive patent filings, and his academic credentials all point to one conclusion: that Dr. Craig S. Wright is indeed Satoshi Nakamoto. This is the compelling case that Gavin Lee presents, and it just might solve the long-standing mystery of who Satoshi Nakamoto really is.
For the first time in almost 75 years, an important technology emerged that did not emerge from an IBM or Microsoft or General Electric or Samsung or some government secret agency or NASA. No, it emerged from the people. Average developers, very bright, none of them special, a couple of PhDs, even Craig Wright, yes, he was involved. Not Satoshi. Satoshi was the author of the fucking white paper. Run some authorship software, you will figure out who Satoshi is. Not important. But they were all ordinary people, normal people like you and me. And this technology has profound implications on society, government, finance, every aspect of our lives. Massively important that it stays in our hands.
Okay, so then after the signing sessions were finished, you destroyed your hard drive?
Yes.
And what was on that hard drive?
Basically, that was the first 12 keys and a number of key slices.
So the wallet that you just mentioned, that was a wallet that was only on that hard
drive and a USB stick, yes.
And you destroyed both with a hammer?
Yes.
And
well, I stomped on one with my foot, so that's a bit different.
And why did you do that?
Because the whole point I'm trying to make, and I'm going to make, Bitcoin is not encrypted. Bitcoin can be seized, Bitcoin can be frozen, Bitcoin acts within the law. There is a lot of misinformation from BTC maximalists who want to go back to drug markets, child porn, pedophilia, and they don't want legal enforcement of Bitcoin. I want to make sure that judges and courts understand that Bitcoin is not encrypted and it can be seized, frozen, and accessed under a court order. I want to make sure that the lies about thousands and thousands of nodes are understood and that people understand that BTC has 15 nodes, 3 of which control 59% of the hash power today. I want it known that these lies, these slanderous accusations about how law enforcement can't take Bitcoin from criminals are wrong.
Do you think that destroying the hard drive would prove that?
I think it's the only way. I think otherwise people will end up forcing me into doing something I don't want to do.